Welcome to this presentation about what no one is telling you about how to experience true happiness in your life. All the time, no matter what's going on around you. My name is Robert Scheinfeld. I'm the New York Times best-selling author of Busting Loose from the Money Game and other best-selling books on personal development and transformation. I'm also the creator of numerous other radically different, and I mean radically different, courses and transformational resources. Feel free to look me up in Google or another research resource of your choice. What you'll discover in this video series. First, what happiness really is, and it may shock you to discover what it really is, what happiness really isn't, what's blocking you from experiencing the real thing, how to dissolve those blocks, what it's like to experience true happiness as opposed to the fake happiness that most people seek and experience, best case, 24/7, no matter what's going on around you, which is the big key. Here's an important note. This is only the first video in a series that tells an important, complete story. You should know that prior to making the discoveries shared in this video series, I was one of the world's foremost experts on being unhappy and one of the world's foremost experts on being angry and frustrated and depressed and feeling hurt. And here's the really big one for me, feeling like a victim. I tried everything from the most popular to the most esoteric, woo-woo solutions in my attempt to feel better. I took a few baby steps from time to time, which meant there were blips of time, small short blips, when I could say I felt a little bit better. Or when something that was making me uncomfortable changed slightly or disappeared temporarily. But ultimately, happiness remained elusive. When I was 46, I had an extraordinary breakthrough. That breakthrough enabled me to see the truth with capital T's of things with expanding clarity. And I say the truth with capital T's to distinguish it from what I call lies, illusions, and stories. I began to see what happiness really was, what it really wasn't. And I gotta tell you, what I saw really shocked me. It was so different from my previous perspective, and why it remained so elusive to me, despite all the things I did and tried and how bad I wanted to be happy. And I also was able to see how to consistently enjoy what I now call true happiness. If you were to go to Amazon right now and type in the words happy or happiness, and you bought every single book that you saw, you bought every single DVD or audio set that you saw, not one of them would discuss what I discovered and what I saw. Not one. Now, that's a bit of a mystery to me, truth be told, but it is what it is. The bottom line is I'm talking about radically different stuff here as it relates to happiness. There's now an opportunity for you to experience true happiness. A very real opportunity. To take advantage of that opportunity, you got to make some really big changes, really big ones, in how you see yourself, in how you see the world, in how you see emotions in general, and in how you see happiness in specific. There are several big problems that must be solved before you can experience true happiness and make those big changes that I just mentioned. Here they are. Big problem number 1. What is happiness in the first place? Everyone wants to be happy or happier, but few people can actually tell you what happiness really is. Now, this may surprise you, but the reality is very few people take a close look at it and really are clear on what it is in the first place. How can you hit a target if you don't know what or where it is? You can't. So this is a biggie, even if it does surprise you, and even if you think, well, Robert, of course I know what happiness is. Well, it may surprise you to find out that you don't, or that it's much blurrier and vague than you may think it is. Big problem number 2. How important is happiness in the greater scheme of things? Everyone knows they want to be happy, but few people realize just how important happiness is to them, and how their quest for happiness shapes everything that they do on a daily basis. Everything, whether you're consciously aware of it or not. Big problem number 3. How do I get there? How do I get to this happiness, true happiness destination? Even if you know what happiness really is, there are few visible and accessible paths that actually lead from where you are now into the true happiness experience, despite tons of hype and false claims. Big problem number 4. How do I avoid traps and quicksand pits along the way? Even if you know what true happiness really is, rare as that is, even if you're shown a path that can actually take you there, rare as that is, the path has traps and quicksand pits, just to use those metaphors, that can prevent you from reaching your desired destination. You must know what they are and how to avoid them, best case, or how to get unstuck if you succumb. And I gotta tell you, I succumbed to many of the traps and quicksand pits and had to find a way to get out of them. And many other people, including you, might also. So there's the opportunity to avoid them. There's also the opportunity to get unstuck if you get stuck. Big problem number 5. Why don't the typical get happy techniques work? As I'm sure you know, there are zillions of books, audios, videos, courses, events, and workshops offering techniques, strategies, and prescriptions for how to be happy. If we're brutally honest with ourselves, what we see is that virtually all of them end up being dead ends. We do something, we go somewhere, we put in time, energy, money, and effort, but we end up at a dead end finding out we didn't get where we really wanted to go. And we got to turn back, go back the way we came, and look for another road that will hopefully take us where we want to go. You'll continue failing to produce the desired result of true happiness and driving down dead end after dead end after dead end until you discover why the techniques are failing and how to take a new road that really can take you where you want to go. Big problem number 6. Why don't the typical happiness, if you will, therapies work? And for our purposes of discussion here, I'm not talking about drug therapy here. I'll have other things to say about that in future videos, but for now we're talking about other kinds of therapies. Why don't they work? Well, again, the world is filled with therapies, therapeutic models, healing models, and therapists who claim to have the ability to help you be happy or happier. But once again, if we're brutally honest, we see that virtually all of them fail to deliver the desired result of true happiness and generally fail to deliver the desired result of what most people think happiness is anyway. Until you know why these therapies fail, a door will never open to change things. Now, I got to make a very important key point here. I am not being critical or judgmental in any way, shape, or form of the products, services, authors, speakers, experts, or therapists I just referred to. I have nothing but respect and appreciation and honoring for these people and what has been created. I'm simply speaking the truth about what you see if you look closely at what happens when most people, there can always be exceptions, follow these, let's call them typical or traditional paths. I discovered a way to solve all of those big problems, and I can open a gateway for you into the true happiness experience. In the next videos in the series, I'll show you what my big breakthrough was and how you can have your own big breakthrough too.